Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sideboard. I'm Glenn Jones, here with StarCityGames.com, and Dan Scott, who was able to make time and come out and have a booth for us at the show.
Yep.
So how'd the booth go? You're all done for the day?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I've never been to a Star City Star City Games event. It seems like it's pretty crowded.
Yeah, this is a pretty good turnout. Almost 400 people.
Yeah, and I wasn't really, scheduled to be here. I just kind of, came here spur of the moment, somewhat. Quite a few people came by, and it was a good weekend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you've obviously been illustrating Magic cards for a little while now.
Yeah.
Familiar with a few of your pieces, including this one that I have right here, Thunder and Tanadon, I believe.
Yeah.
So, when did you get started with Magic?
I started back in 2004, and we talked a little bit about this. The first set that I had anything printed in was Champions of Kamigawa, but the first art I actually had commissioned was for an Unhinged set, Bosom Buddy. I actually had two cards in that set. The other one was for a card called Burninate, which, if you've ever heard of Strong Bad, or if you're familiar with that whole Trogdor. And I don't know why that never got printed. I don't know if there was some sort of license issue or something like that. But
it seems kind of likely, I guess.
Yeah, so it was a little bit odd because I started off as a Magic player, and I it was a lifetime goal of mine to become a Magic artist. I did a lot of fantasy art, and I knew that I wanted to become an artist for Magic, and I tried 3 times to get in, and it was the third time that I finally was able to get in and start doing art for them. And so I was all excited, I get my first set of art descriptions, and it's for an unset. And so it was a little bit of, bittersweet moment there. I was still excited to do art for Magic, but, I really wanted to impress them, wow them, show them what I could do. And here it is for a set that's kind of a jokey set. So that was a little bit difficult. And then one of the cards never got printed. So, but fortunately, right after that, I did art for Champions of Kamigawa, and that set actually ended up coming out before the unset.
Yeah.
So when people ask me what set I did art for first, I just say Champions of Kamigawa because it's a little bit cooler, I guess.
Yeah, it works out that way. Both sides win.
Right.
So you said it took you a while to break into doing art for Magic.
Yeah.
What do you think really got you through the third time, I guess, or was it just constant improvement, constant effort?
I felt like. I do feel like I slowly improved as an artist, but I kind of feel like a lot of times in these things, at least my theory is that as long as you just keep, throwing things against the wall, eventually something will stick. And so I would always send in my best stuff, I felt like, and that would change from time to time, but I always kind of felt like you never knew when you would hit the art director at the right time, where maybe he would just be a little bit short on artists for that set. Maybe it was a bigger set, and he just really needed to find some new artists. Maybe some artists had just moved on and weren't doing art anymore. So you never know when the situation might be right that he might be able to use you. And I felt like once I could get my foot in the door once, I would hopefully be able to continue doing art for them, from then on. And thankfully, knock on wood, it's continued to work out. Yeah.
So I think I could guess what your most signed card this weekend probably was.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it was Ponder.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm right. Dan illustrated the Three Moons Ponder, which is one of the more popular versions of the Ponder. We have a few, but one of my favorites. We've seen a lot of different Three Moons Ponders, even with altars and stuff like that. So it's become very popular.
Right.
But one of the lesser-known facts, or I don't know about lesser-known, but one of the stranger facts is there's a face in the background that you said people don't often see.
Yeah. A lot of people, I think, a lot of people have come up to me and tell me that they never even noticed that there was a face in the background until they saw the foil version or until they were just actually looking at the card. And I think somehow that kind of, makes it kind of cooler to them. There's that kind of subtle aspect to it that you don't really notice right off the bat. So. Then people have asked me if it was a Jace or if there was a certain planeswalker in there, and it was just supposed to be like a wizard. It's not really supposed to be, and it doesn't tie to any storyline or anything. I actually just use my own face as the model for it, but yeah.
So a powerful wizard.
Definitely, yeah, and handsome, of course.
Awesome. We have a new reprint of yours in N13 from Ravnica. which is appropriate, obviously, and it's Vedalken Entrancer, which you said has a bit of an Easter egg hidden in the art.
A friend of mine, Jerry Boone, is a big Magic collector. We used to play Magic together when we both worked at Hallmark Cards, he's got the Power 9, he's got all the dual lands, and very complete collection of Magic cards. Big fan. And I thought he would maybe get kind of kick out of it if I put a little Easter egg in there. And he's got, so the Vedalken Entrancer has like this kind of winding pattern in his the costuming on his chest. Yeah. And I worked in the word moon in there, which is Jerry's last name. And you could never see it on the printed card. You can barely see it when the art's blown up all the way, but it's definitely in there. It's just kind of an Easter egg that I thought he would find to be cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Returning to our friend here, the Thundering Pteranodon. This is a nice, pretty reasonably sized piece. You did it in paint, right? It's the original.
No. This is actually a canvas print. Yeah, I work digitally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I work digitally, so there's no originals, in existence. So I like to get canvas prints done as just kind of a
cool thing,
a higher end thing, for someone who wants to buy an original, but since there's no original, they can't.
Yeah. So you do all of your Magic artwork digitally then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you work with physical paints earlier in your career, or is the transition was pretty smooth? Or?
When I learned in college with traditional paints, acrylics and oils mainly, and when I first started doing art for way back before Magic, I did stuff in acrylics. The first game I ever did art for was a little card game called Cron X. It's an internet card game. And all the art I did for that was all acrylic art. Okay. But kind of slowly have transitioned over the years to working digitally, I've always been comfortable on the computer, and I feel like I have more control. I can work faster, make changes, and it just works out for me. I love traditional art. I love the look of it. I wish I had the time to do it, but for me it just worked out better to do digital.
I'm just personally curious, what's your time frame on a piece? How long does it generally take? Obviously it varies from piece to piece.
Yeah, it all depends on how many characters are involved. A lot of the Magic pieces are just a single character, so
sure.
they go a little bit faster. If it's just a single character, it takes me anywhere from 20 to 30 hours. If it's multiple characters, where you have to figure out how they all interact and how the lighting, plays off of each of them, it could be, upwards of 40 hours, So.
Okay, that's a pretty reasonable time frame. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and let you go. We're going to get back to the tournament at hand here in Kansas City. So thanks a lot for coming by, Dan.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thanks.